This is Charlie from Charisma on Command, and today I'm going to be doing a confidence breakdown. Now, confidence is different from a lot of the other breakdowns that I've done because so many of them are immediately visible in the tonality, body language, and other external signals. Confidence is more of an inside game, but it does leave clues, and that's what we're going to be looking for. How do you get confident, and how do you display it to other people? The person I've chosen is extremely confident, Conor McGregor. If you don't know him, he is in the UFC. He's about to fight for the title bout in just a few weeks. We'll see how that goes, but I want to start with showing you just a couple clips if you're not familiar with him to show you what his confidence looks like.
Unless he's fighting, but that's funny because there's many occasions where he has been in the cage where he hasn't fought. Superstitions to me is another word for fear. I will break him mentally and I will break him physically.
You think I celebrate number 9? You're highly mistaken, my friend. I don't give a shit about rankings. As far as I'm concerned, I'm number 1. And when Dustin's head clatters off that canvas, they'll realize pretty soon.
I don't feel boxing is the style of fighting that can beat Floyd, but saying that, there are many forms of fighting that can beat him. So if we were to get it on, I would most certainly dismantle him also.
Oh, wow. All right. Now, you might be watching this and think, okay, what makes this guy so special? Everyone in professional sports is constantly trash talking. How do we know that this guy actually believes what he says he believes? And so I want to pause right now and show you what an unconfident boast prediction that somebody's going to win looks like versus Conor McGregor, who almost certainly believes exactly what he says. So this is a clip from one of Conor's earlier fights, and they ask each fighter how they see the fight going. First, Conor's opponent.
Who wants to start? Justin, go for it.
For me, man, you know, that's something that happens every night, every day, and every time it's different, you know. Sometimes it's on the feet, sometimes it's submission, but in the end, my hand's raised every time, and I'm 100% confident in that, you know.
I want to go back and pause that. Look what he does after he says that he's 100% confident.
My hand's raised every time, and I'm 100% confident in that, you know.
His eye twitches, he flinches his head, he starts to nod as if overcompensating, and then makes this little shrugging attitude. One more time, because it's really important. These are the micro expressions that belie a lack of confidence.
Sometimes it's on the feet, sometimes it's submission, but in the end, my hand's raised every time, and I'm 100% confident in that, you know.
Now, he might not be certain that he's going to lose, but he is not 100% confident, and that is what it looks like when you cannot just let it sit with what you've just said. Contrast that with everything that you just saw from Conor.
I will break him mentally and I will break him physically.
Dustin's head clatters off that canvas, they'll realize pretty soon. Now, for
If we were to get it on, I would most certainly dismantle him also.
Oh, wow. All right. He can make these boastful, aggrandizing statements and then just sit there in it. Because to him, it's as obvious as I have 5 fingers, as 2 + 2 = 4. It is just a fact to him. So let's look how he talks about how the fight's going to go.
you know, he doesn't have a vision of what's going to happen, as you can clearly see. Yeah, throughout training camp, you definitely have shots that you see, that you feel cracking. You know, you feel them shots happen. You know. But this is trust me, this is a first round KO for me. I have no doubt in my mind. His toes will curl and I will celebrate.
Confidence come from.
Now, they cut that a little bit short, but you see, he can just sit there after he says that, and that gives him such an advantage when he steps in the ring. Because while the other guy might really think that he has a great shot, he's got to be wondering what makes this guy so certain he's going to win. How can he know? And that's what we want to explore now. How can you develop that sense of just absolute certainty that you're going to achieve your goals? Oh, by the way, before we get to that, for those of you who don't know the UFC and are curious, this is what happened in the fight in the first round.
Talking to him now. Oh, yeah. Hands at his hips, having a conversation, looking to finish the fight. It's all over, just like that.
So how do you get that kind of confidence? Well, the most important and the foundational piece is relevant experience. This is kind of a no-duh. If you've given 20 presentations before, you're going to feel much more comfortable than you did when you gave your first. That is what relevant experience means. It means you've done something successfully in the past, and you think that going forward, you'll be able to continue to do it that way. Conor McGregor spells it out very clearly right here.
Well, I don't know. My confidence comes from my performance, my work in the gym, my work ethic. You know, they don't work harder than me and they don't want it like I want it, you know. So my confidence comes from looking around at the division. I don't see anything in the division that troubles me, not one of them. They don't move like I move, they don't think like I think, and they don't talk like I talk. That's my confidence.
Okay, so that's all well and great, but how do you be confident before you've got the experience, right? Because there are people like Conor McGregor who, for no reason at all, just came up and seemed to believe that they were going to be great when they had no reason to. Just check this out.
I'm a professional MMA fighter with a record of 4-1. I'm an up-and-coming fighter, and without a doubt, you will see me on the UFC in the near future, without a doubt.
So that's in 2008, before he really has any good, credible reason to believe he's going to do it. So how does that happen? And this is step 2. Step 2 is to focus on the things that you have control over. People who lack confidence tend to focus on the things that they don't have control over. Will the people like the presentation? Is the guy that I'm going up against going to be training? Conor, very singularly, when he is looking to be confident, focuses on the things that he has control over. Will he plan against a certain person and create a strategy that's going to be effective against them? Absolutely. But when he draws on his confidence, he doesn't go for anything that is outside of his control, and that's how it's 100% certain. Just check this out.
There is no opponent. There's no Jose Aldo. Who the f is Jose Aldo? There's no one. You're against yourself. You know what I mean? You're against yourself.
So we've got 2 pieces so far. We've got relevant experiences and focusing on the things that you control. But I think it's this third piece that really separates Conor McGregor, and that is visualization. Visualization is how you can gain relevant experience, that first piece, without actually having to do it. Because the truth is, you might only get one shot at your UFC title fight, or whatever big presentation that you have to give, or any chance that you have. So this visualization piece gets you a chance to build relevant experience inside your own head and to see it going the way you want it to. So you just got to catch some quotes now from Conor talking about how exactly he does this visualization.
All that matters is how you see yourself. If you see yourself as the king, you know what I mean? You see yourself with all the belts and all everything. And no matter what no one else says, as long as you see that and really believe in it, then that's what's going to happen. Who can tell you otherwise? Who says what way you see things? Who says what you see out of your eyes? And then I just had that kind of, I saw myself in that light. I saw myself as the number one, you know, I saw myself as the champion. Even before anyone else did. I just kept that in my head. And John always put it to me, he said, we can change this and do something that people haven't seen before, you know what I mean?
So this is really interesting because when you hear Conor McGregor talk, it might come across as boastful, but he oftentimes makes incredibly accurate predictions of how his fight will go, down to the round and how his knockouts will occur, whether it'll start with a jab and then be a right overhand. He's incredibly specific, and it's because he has these vivid, ongoing visualizations in his head of exactly how he's going to win. Now, right here, he talks about seeing the belts, and that's important. But when you're visualizing, it's not just about visualizing the end award that you're going to get. It's about visualizing the struggle and how you're going to overcome that. So you better be sure that Conor sees his fights. When you ask him how they are going to go, he tells you second by second how he has seen it play out in his head dozens, if not hundreds of times. So I'm going to go now to a compilation clip that I found on YouTube. It's awesome. I'm going to put a description up here. And it shows Conor McGregor making all these amazing predictions. But notice how in his most recent fight versus this guy named Chad Mendes, who is an excellent wrestler, he doesn't have this weird visualization where he just coasts to victory easily in the first round. He recognizes that, yes, he's going to get wrestled down to the ground. He's going to be put on his back. But in his visualizations and when he talks about the fight, it is a realistic victory. It's about getting up from being on the ground and overcoming that challenge. This is what you need to put into your visualizations. What are you going to come up against? How are you going to overcome it when you get put on your back? That is going to make them much more powerful.
When I'm pressing him, and we have these exchanges and these scrambles, and his belly is going to be breathing in and his body is going to be screaming for oxygen.
Chad's breathing heavy.
And then I'm going to be still there in his face, cracking him with everything I have, every shot, the heel, the knee,
The fist, every shot in the book I have.
I don't know how you're going to be pressuring anything from your back, dude.
Trust. Listen, what you gonna do? You can't even pass guard. You're a white belt on the mat. What? You get me down, you hold me down. I'll butcher you from the bottom. I'll get back up and I'll butcher you on the feet.
Dana McGregor has attracted a lot of buzz because he's this incredible showman.
You want to know how confident this kid is? He told Lorenzo and I the other day, "I'll bet you $3 million I knock him out in the second round."
10 seconds. Could he finish him here? It's all over. Conor McGregor.
So that's how Conor McGregor purposely visualizes his victories with the challenges he'll overcome. But what do most of us do? Without realizing it, we see things going terribly, right? We imagine everything that could go wrong, play these scenes over and over again in our head, and then almost guarantee that that happens to us. And Conor talks about this as well. This is what he did early in his career when he lost some fairly easy fights, certainly easy compared to the guys he's facing now.
So a lot of people come out to see me, and I don't know, I felt a lot of pressure, and it was funny because of the way my mind was then, and I was kind of like anticipating a loss, you know what I mean? You nearly know when, you nearly tell yourself if you're going to win or lose, and these are the first time but things, those losses kind of helped me realise about the mental side of things and how, what way I, compared to what way I am now, compared to what way I am there.
So this isn't the secret. This isn't about just going out there, putting what you want into the universe, and then magically receiving that back. This is about actively engaging your own imagination so that you are getting practice experience, except it's all in your own head. Because the truth is, our nervous systems do not do a very good job of differentiating between experiences that we have out in the real world and experiences that are vividly imagined. This is why you can get scared of things that don't happen. This is why we can go to movies and be terrified even though it's not actually occurring. Use this to your own advantage. Go through, see the specific concrete challenges that you might face in some area where you want to be confident.